All right. I think we're good.
All right. Welcome. Happy Sunday.
Yeah, we are good. We've got captions going. We've got all kinds of stuff. Welcome to, once again, Fight to Flight with Kelly and Mike. I'm Mike.
I'm Kelly.
And here we are, once again, for our weekly dose of insights into physical health, mental health, coping, all that fun stuff. We've got, as many of you know, we've got some history in public health and chronic disease management and all that kind of fun stuff. So we like to share what we've learned with others along the past. And we've already got Kim Kendall saying Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Kim.
So this week, I usually I'm probably the one that's been a little bit more positive, optimistic, whatever, just because that's the way things have shaken out. But this was kind of a tough week for me this week. There was some really highs and lows, and the big lesson for the week for me was things aren't always over when you think they're going to be over. We had some projects that long-time projects that were big and impactful and all that kind of stuff. And then we launched them, and then right after launch, things kind of, we found some errors or some not even necessarily errors, but malfunctions and that sort of thing. And so the analogy that I was using with you and the kids was it's kind of like taking a final exam, getting an A on it, doing really well, and then 2 days later you're celebrating it and all that stuff, and then 2 days later your professor comes back and says, oh, by the way, there are 10 more questions you have to do in order to get any credit at all.
Right.
So it's just a lot of emotional stuff, a lot of kind of relationship, not our relationship, but relationship communication, critical conversation challenges, all that stuff. So a lot of those kind of lessons for me this week.
Yeah, I felt myself, feel a lot of things, and then sometimes just, there's, as a 44-year-old professional woman, there's, how I know to respond and behave and process things and sort them. And then there's just at a person's very core and their soul and their heart. Sometimes you feel how you feel. And you can't always intellectualize yourself out of your visceral reactions to things. So then it's just, all right, how do I deal with that? How do I go back to baseline, remain honest about myself, what I can control, what I can't control, not having to worry or learning not to worry about external perceptions, but just how do I define safety, success, in my quality of life and my daily routines. And it's been a tumultuous few years, so and then just hormones and the way things go, just Lord have mercy. But anyway, here we are, and let's just accept our mess and I'll just be here, right?
Well,
so.
And it's all part of the experience. I mean, we're trying to share all this great wisdom, and we can't get that unless we actually go through the experiences, right?
I felt like I fell off the back of a motorcycle, and then I was run over a couple times, but I lived through it, and
same.
Yeah, I might have fallen off because of I shouldn't have leaned this way. It's a lot of analogies or metaphors, but anyway, here we are.
Here we are.
And I thought, well, we could do a nice quick show, and we did some questions or used one of those box sets that I talked about that I got at my favorite local bookstore. Our favorite local bookstore. This is a bookstore. And so this time, I have selected some cards, and I thought we'll just have a quick show, and this will just be general questions, kind of getting to know you questions. And, we can answer some, but would love to hear what some of your answers would be. And so this is the card game, Cozy Conversations for Pleasant Company, and that's this group, right? And so there's no right or wrong, and this is just a getting to know you kind of thing. And I thought, what a nice, cozy thing on a windy day, right?
And of course, first of all, I want to say hi to John, who will also joining us today, our good friend John from Wisconsin. I always want to say he's from Minnesota, but he's actually from Wisconsin. Fun fact, I guess. And also would love to hear what's on your mind right now, too. We love to have these kind of conversations. So as we're getting these conversations started, we'd love to hear some of your successes for the week, some of your challenges, all that kind of stuff. and I'd love to hear how your weekend's going. So,
Right.
what do you have with Hugo?
Hugue. We
Hugo.
wanted to pronounce it correctly. I was looking it up.
So
Hugue.
we had to get the Google Translate going here.
Okay. I'll ask the first card of questions. I'm just going to, I grabbed a few. I'll just shuffle my own off. And then you'll ask the second card of questions. And if you think you don't want to even read one of them, that's fine.
Okay.
Oh, first question.
Uh-oh.
What does the world need more of?
Boy, I have a list. I think the world needs more empathy. I think we need to.
Amen. Okay, take me to church on that one.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the issues that we face, whether they're domestic issues, whether we're talking about our social safety net, or whether it's international conflicts or things like that, they kind of come down to a certain degree. They come down to, I guess, to put it bluntly, that comes down to greed. I mean, whether it's financial greed, whether it's just whatever it is, and an inability to put yourself into somebody else's shoes and really, as you're fond of saying, seek first to understand. And we can. I think a lot of the other, we can get into hubris and all that kind of stuff. And we've talked before about, what do you have to do to establish a legacy? I think there's a certain degree. Some of these conflicts that we have are, the people wanting to be great people or historical figures, and trying to achieve that by any means necessary. And it's not a great place to be, because it takes you out of looking at how other people perceive things. And the needs of the many. Of course, we got to get our Star Trek references in there. And so I think if we spent more time worrying less about if something is getting something unfairly, or something is getting something that we don't have, blah blah blah, and really just kind of examining why some of these inequities and disparities happen, and just trying to put ourselves in other people's shoes. I think that would go a long way.
Well said. And I love how John Linnell has said what the world needs now is love, sweet love. And yes.
Going back to Soul Town.
Yeah, we need it more than ever. So totally agreed there.
So quite a way to start, quite a start.
Yeah. All right. So this is a little less heavy question. Do you think that email will ever completely replace normal mail?
No. Just for the same reason that McDonald's has not completely replaced a good steakhouse, or a good burger place. There's always going to be a need. First of all, there's always going to be a need to ship a tangible object from one place to another.
Right.
So sometimes it's a certificate, sometimes it's whatever it is. There's always going to be a need for that. But also sometimes you've got people. I'm not one of these people myself, but there are people who actually still like to pen to paper write. I mean, I like a good pen and all that kind of stuff, but I type much faster than I write. And for me, it's still kind of the efficiency kind of thing. And my handwriting has really deteriorated because I don't write very much anymore. And not that it was ever great to begin with, but but there are certain people out there who, as Kim is saying, enjoys a good handwritten letter, writing and receiving. I mean,
It's a real treat now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've seen some memes about this, about how 20 years ago it wasn't any big deal to get a letter in the mail, but it was really cool to get an email, because that meant you were like in the thing, or you were like in the club and you had email. And now it's kind of swapped, where email is very commonplace now, but if somebody actually takes the time to write and send a letter, then that's kind of a big deal.
I think you might have, speaking of writing and typing, I think you might have had a typo somewhere, or was this on purpose?
No, that was on purpose.
All right, bring it to me, Daddy. I don't know.
Somewhere in the, I guess sometimes the description doesn't always go through, maybe, I don't know. But in the stream setup, I said we're streaking, because now we have gone 3 weeks in a row. We've got the streak going.
Wow, sorry if I shouted that into the
So,
microphone.
so John says, Gary, curious, very curious why your tagline says streaking when you're both fully clothed and not running.
You're welcome.
Yes, that's something that, yeah, let's talk about getting demonetized. But yeah, we're just keeping the streak alive. Everybody loves their streaks, whether it's Wordle or, whatever it is. So
Yes, right.
I'm at 8 again on
Nice.
Wordle, by the way.
John also says,
Our daughter-in-law works for the USPS and has many, many pen pals throughout the country.
That's
Loves
awesome.
sending letters and postcards. Yeah, it's funny because postcards are cool. I don't know. We haven't done that on our last couple of trips back when we could have trips, but it was always fun to grab a postcard from wherever we were and send it like home to the kids while we're out.
Yeah.
Something like that. Postcards are cool. I like
let's
postcards.
put that in our goals for the year. Like, get back to fun basics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciating our postal workers that have delivered things on both Sundays now.
Yeah, and who are always, I was a former government employee myself, and I know that it's a pretty thankless job because everybody just thinks that you're part of the, or you're just a lazy, entitled government worker.
Some
a lot of
people,
times.
yeah.
But especially the postal service, because truly, rain nor sleet nor dark of night or however that poem goes. I mean, they tromping around the whole time, and they're dedicated. So much respect for the postal service.
Yeah, and very friendly today, Shua. Yeah. All right, last question, and Kim Kendall. Kids get so excited to get the mail, and that was a gift we even had for ourselves. And Chaos still is getting. We got letters sent for a while.
Oh, that's right, from authors. Yeah.
From authors, and then we like our.
And we still have the engineering box, and even today, getting packages and stuff, even though it's stuff that you might be expecting, it's still kind of fun.
Oh yeah, we got a Roku to try that instead of the Fire Stick.
Was not working
and,
well.
And we saw all the many like live streaming channels that are available, and so many murder mysteries, true crime, comedy. It's so exciting.
All right, question number 3.
Okay, so this is more like what this group is about. All right, if you could give one piece of advice based on your experience from the past few years, what would it be?
Oh boy, a piece of advice. Boy, I don't know that I'm in a good spot to give advice because the last couple of years have been, I think to a degree, I'm still kind of processing some of the lessons of them.
Let's table that, because I think both of us are we're growing. I'm like weeding my garden, and everything's all turned up right now.
I mean, the first one that comes to mind is just maintain your rituals. Because when you have massive disruptions, as we've had over the last year, as many of us have had over the last couple of years, some more numerous than others certainly. You've got to you still have to have that anchor, or what's is it a lodestar? What's your North Star kind of thing? You've got to still have some kind of foundation to keep you grounded. Otherwise, you do really start kind of spiraling in different directions and stuff, and that's not healthy. So,
I used to talk pillars. You have your pillars, you have your load-bearing walls. What are the core things you do that set you up for success? And, Sunday is our kind of day of reset for that. So our week will heavily depend on, did we find out where everyone needs to be, everyone's work schedule, so everyone's needs are met, and there's some proactive effort there. Meal planning, getting the groceries, laundry together. What do I need for work? What does everyone else need? And do we have our gym clothes? Do we have a plan? What's the weather going to be? If you're scrambling to put that together and you feel like you're always catching up, it's harder. So
John's got a recommendation for us to watch The Only Murders in the Building. I've heard of that. I've heard good things about it.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's been on my watch list. I had to finish all my old work, and I've been waiting for a time that Emma and you can unite And maybe when we do our Hollow Taco Nails next, we're going to get started. But that one's been in the lineup waiting for all of us to do a group watch.
And well, I'm sure that one's pretty comedic with Steve Martin and
I
Martin Short.
cannot
But
wait. Yeah.
also, we've been short series and only half-hour episodes. We've been watching Murderville, which
That
is
was
kind of a parody of true crime, and
oh,
that's been absolutely
improv.
hilarious.
Best episode, Marshawn Lynch. Oh,
So check that
true.
out if you have
Pure joy.
Netflix. That's on Netflix. I
Yeah,
believe.
that's
So
on Netflix.
Murderville. All right. So now I'm asking you, or are we continuing
No,
to? Okay.
I asked, so you can pick any card,
Okay.
and you're asking now.
Okay. Question number 1. Interesting. On the lighter side, what would a perfect day look like for you?
Oh, well, how many times even this week, even though we've both been kind of stressed, we'll just say this is lovely. You know, we have our new couches thanks to Emma and a cleaner, cozy space. And so when our tribe's together and we're, you know, the wind coming through the windows, so fresh air, fresh smells, our tribe together just vibing and laughing. It doesn't, you know, of course I love to be at the lake, or I love if I've had a great workout or a great tennis match, or, you know, but for us, you know, it's the joy. And that was a really good match. It's just really nice to be sitting here with our kitties and our kids. And
Starting the day with good exercise like tennis. We've had some good matches
yeah,
lately too. And then, you know, being productive through the day, whether it's around the house, whether it's just kind of together, you know, cleaning or professional stuff, and then relaxing at night.
I mean, I would love to get to the place where like we have all the stuff is the maintenance stuff is done and everything's clean, and then we have and we've maybe done a workout and we've hydrated, and then we feel really good. Like Kim says, maybe now we're at the beach because we're up on the island and the kids are playing. That is in oh yes, and maybe we're self-soothing and everyone's doing their own thing. We do that pretty well, but a really good day. We were excited about today because we have the whole tribe here, and you know, just getting some time with everybody because we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun as a
Yeah,
family.
yeah, we do.
I got stuck watching talk about rabbit holes, those reels, you know, like TikTok videos or whatever, and then I was following families, and it's just fun to see other dynamics and people like in the wild.
I actually did some gaming today because I'm trying, you know, I've been trying to do more common ground kind of. I mean, not that you have to convince me to play video games or whatever, but that new game that Tommy got, Elden Ring.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
cool.
telling
Yeah.
Chaos about that. I thought I was going to create a character because it's one of those games that it's like a kind of a role playing game. It's got this real intricate character creator where you can have hair color and hairstyles and how much gray hair do you have and how strong are your features and all that kind of stuff. And so I thought, well, you know, I'll do that. And then I thought, well, I want to be able to like converse about it, so I'll play a little bit and see if and it really caught my interest. So it's just kind of a fun thing that again, you know, we always love to share within the family. It's like and try new experiences and stuff like that. So
I'm not
jammy
a gamer,
days.
but I can appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, phew, love the jammies.
All right, now
And that my kids know. The kids also will say, if I'm in or you're not in comfy clothes. Like this, we cannot have our time. Like let's all figure ourselves out and get in the comfy clothes. It's just setting the tone.
and Kim, to be clear, it's not even closet D&D. I've played D&D. I've played Star Wars role play game RPGs. I've played Star Trek. I love a good tabletop, you know, storytelling kind of thing. Where you get a good dungeon master telling a really good story. I just haven't done it in a while because I haven't rolled in those circles very much in the last quite a while. But yeah, I love to do that. Okay, so next question, and this should be interesting for your reaction here. If it were possible to record your dreams on video, would you watch them?
Oh yeah, even the really weird ones, because then I'm like, I really want to process that. Yeah, I would. And I've had some good ones, that really interesting, like they're movie plots. Like I could sell this stuff. Sometimes I'm rested and you'll be like getting up to get ready and I'll be like, I'm sorry, I have to finish this one out. Like I have to know what happens. So, and sometimes I go right back. Has that, you know?
Every now and then that happens to me.
As we were talking about, my you were talking about when you're done with something and then you've got 10 more questions. And for me, it's like, okay, you see the finish line of a marathon and then it gets extended like another 2 miles or something. I have a recurring dream that my dad used to have that, especially in the fall, this happens. I have my master's degree. I have credits beyond my master's degree. But even though all of that exists, I'm told I have to finish some things. I didn't get all the credits I needed in high school. And I've had a recurring dream to the end that I just got to thinking, because Chaos has to finish some homework before she can go do some, social stuff today. And I was thinking, I've still got classes for Loy Norix because they told me I had to go to Loy Norix. It's the closest high school to us right here. And
to be clear, not where you graduated from.
No. As a 44, well, the dreams were last year, as a 43-year-old woman, master's prepared, and I'm struggling to get through like AP government at Loy Norix. And these dreams were like every night. I'm exhausted and I'm like, I'm halfway through, and do I have those credits? Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Now, my most memorable dream lately, actually, I had fun with this one because
yeah.
I was packing. I was packing luggage. I was just putting clothes into a suitcase, and all of a sudden it occurred to me, you're in a dream. This is boring. Why don't you just skip this part? And I did. Unfortunately, then I woke up, so I didn't really know what came next. But it was
where
like,
were we going?
All right, yeah, it's like, that's cool. So
Anyway.
that's the extent of my... So I don't know that I would want to watch that, but...
Oh, and I went back to Where You're Mean to Me in Dreams. I had one of those. I don't want to watch that. I used to have those a lot.
Well, I know, but let's clarify that I'm not mean to you.
No, he's not. No.
There wasn't like a time where I was just always mean to you.
No, this one time you wouldn't share a veggie tray. That's it. Like, you're an ass about that. That was in the way backs. Anyway. No, I used to have these dreams that he was horribly mean to me all the time. And my mom used to get up and yell at my dad for the same. And my dad was very sweet to my mom. Oh, my God. And I looked all this up, and my high school sweetheart actually got me a dream interpretation book because he was, like, sick of hearing about my dreams. It's said that when someone's mean to you in a dream, they actually really love you.
Well, there we go.
So
I guess we know. All right, last question on this card. Science question. Do you think faster than light travel is possible?
Every time we were watching some sci-fi thing, I'm wondering that. I'm just gonna I'm gonna live in at this point. Who knew that we would be doing this in this way? I'm just gonna say anything's possible.
I mean, that's kind of, again, going back to Star Trek, that was kind of the core thing. They had the big view screen, and they could have the video conference. So, I will say, I don't think that we can actually travel at a velocity that is faster than the speed of light.
With our mass.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, the whole E equals MC squared thing. But I do believe that there's got to be some kind of way, because my very rudimentary understanding of physics, we know that there are multiple other actual dimensions. And we also know that they've made like particles jump from one spot to another, so it seems like it's got to be possible to have a practical effect of being faster than light without actually breaking that speed limit. Find the wormhole, exactly. Yeah.
And Kim, I'm sorry you have no control over your dreams. Often I don't.
So I think if you can imagine it, someday somebody will figure it out. Says Kim. I agree with that. I think it is. Let's remember. I think that is. I think it's entirely plausible.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
All right. Are we gonna do some more, or?
Does anyone have anything they want to discuss or share first?
Coming up on a half hour here, so.
Yeah, I mean, this can be a nice, easy.
Yeah.
The adult brain doesn't really like to go much over 45 minutes, so. I guess raise your hand or give a thumbs up if you want one more card. That's what I'll say.
Okay. So, yeah, we've got to figure out how we're going to see people do that, or find the emoji. Hopefully people can find the emoji.
That sounds like a funny game.
Find the emoji.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, all right.
Miss Kendall shows up.
Think about what Jules
Uh-huh.
Verne used to write about. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I mean, yeah, all that kind of stuff. So, who's asking?
You're a really good, well, how about you?
Okay.
I read them all. I know all the questions that are there.
Oh, okay. Well, let's
So
see.
I want to see you surprised as you read them.
Pick a card. Okay. All right, just find Waldo. If you could change your age, would you choose to be younger, older, or stay the same?
Same. I'm a mess, but I'm right where I need to be. I would never. Yeah, I'm right where I need to be.
My initial instinct is to agree. However, as the person I am, are there loopholes? Like, if I'm younger, do I still get to keep my experience and
Right.
all that kind of stuff? Because I would love to go back to a time where my knees didn't hurt, or maybe I could make some better dietary choices in my
Oh,
20s.
can I have
Or
my
yeah,
current knowledge but go back to
Nope.
35? Yeah.
And we're now joined by Harvey as a special guest here, real quick. So, hello, Harvey. Let's say hi to everybody. Yes. Hello. I would not want to be older. I'm not dreading becoming older, but I don't want to take that shortcut. And if it meant that I had to sacrifice the knowledge and experience, then I would not go back to being younger.
No. No. Hey, buddy. You just gotta be.
I think I know the answer to this one. What's your favorite way of wasting time?
British murder mysteries. And police procedurals, true crime watching with my daughter and my husband. Because we get really excited when you watch with us, like the Ted Danson CSIs and stuff. And the wind coming through and snuggling these creatures. Playing tennis with you. Talking to you.
All good things. All right. Stream goofiness. And this will be actually a good one to end on, I think. Name a time where you felt really proud of yourself.
I liked this question. That's why I wanted that card for this group. For me,
Go ahead and close that window and see if that helps with the stream.
pretty much every week the kids are doing things that make me feel proud because we're seeing that some of the investment, lessons now that they're out in adult world.
But are you proud of yourself?
That's a good point. That was like in what's that show, Space Force. That was a whole thing. Probably the most proud I've been of myself might have been the first time I did a sponsored talk at the state level for the NPs at the beginning of the year and for the PAs at the end of the year, or at the ad board in DC, where I was doing real work to advocate for those of us with obesity, with people who have the resources to make a difference, and that I had things to contribute there, and I wasn't just a bystander. That made me that was pinnacle.
Cool.
You?
The first one that comes to mind is when I had started my job at WMed, which was a fairly unique thing, and I was able to start that from scratch, basically, write my own job description, kind of living the dream kind of thing. After I'd been doing that for about 2 months and started seeing patients, it was some of the first round of follow-ups, and somebody said, I didn't know how bad my breathing had gotten until you helped me make it better. Just by, making sure they're on the right set of meds and all that kind of stuff. So I was really proud of that because I knew that I could personally make a difference. It reinforced my belief in my profession and where I was at the time and all that sort of thing. So I was really, really proud that I had that experience and was able to make that happen. Yeah, I don't.
We have a special guest star.
Oh,
Come on up, Chaos.
What do you
Here, you can come sit here.
What do you want me to say?
All right, we're doing these questions.
All right.
Name a time that you felt proud of yourself.
Well, I just got my work done, so I could go see Nina. So I guess now.
Hey, that was a good segue. Anything else?
No, I think nothing else. Unfortunately, nothing else that comes to mind.
Nothing else ever that you're proud of?
Yeah, you should be.
Can it be video game related?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's your life. It's your pride.
I was proud after that. Just today, I was talking about playing Elden Ring, and I'm telling you, I'm proud that I beat that one guy after like 5 times. Not the tree guy, but the guy that you skip past.
Oh yeah.
In the Cave of Knowledge.
In the Cave of Knowledge. Well, I guess I'm like the only one of my friends that actually finished Hollow Knight.
Oh.
Because it's so hard. And I've basically done everything in that game except for like the hardest thing.
Yeah.
But you know.
I'm really excited that you finished what you're doing and you were able to be a guest star on our show today.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
All right.
Does that mean I can?
Yes.
Okay.
Just remember, by 7 o'clock.
By 7 o'clock.
All right.
All
Have
right.
fun.
Goodbye.
Good job.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right. Let's see. That isn't Hester. Okay, so Kim Kendall says loves your hair.
Thank you, Kim Kendall.
Yeah, says thank you if you can't hear that. So, yeah, and Kim, our internet was a little weird for a minute too. We had some dropped frames, so don't feel too bad. We had 2% of the frames that we had, 1,242 were dropped according to our streaming software here. So, all right, well, that was like I said, I think that's a good note to end on. John says it's a great question that a psychiatrist would ask, but nonetheless an excellent question. And I think that's a good thing to do when we have weeks like this, where we've had challenges, where we've had setbacks. Professional, personal, where sometimes it just kind of feels like you've got to redo that final exam. It's good to take stock of the good times, because otherwise it's real easy to kind of get into that spiral of, well, nothing's ever going to be good enough. I'm never going to be worthwhile again. That kind of stuff. Because especially like I said this week, it was like 3 things came right after each other, and it was just like, damn. I mean, like, what is this? What it's going to be for the the rest of my? Do I need to start looking for a new job now?
Baby, please no.
But no. But it's just it's like it's easy to get into that kind of spiral because it's like
I invented the spiral. I've been wearing my human out loud all week. Kim, dinner was lovely company.
That's right.
The pork shoulder and roast. It was a little drier than we'd hoped. We made another one a couple days later. It was phenomenal. So
yeah, the moral of the story here is sometimes you can't take shortcuts, because we tried to do that in the Instant Pot and then ended up having to recook it in the oven, and then it got dried out.
Yeah,
and then we ended up slow roasting it a couple days later as kind of a do-over, and that worked out fantastic in the crock pot. Oh.
Yeah.
Got some left in the freezer too. So.
Yeah, that was slow cooker, one in root beer and other spices, and another in like broth and a dry rub. Anyway, patty melts tonight.
Yeah, our culinary adventure of the week is patty melts. So
that's per Tommy's request.
Yes.
So, all right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for sharing some of your Sunday with us. At some point, speaking of getting into habits and rituals and stuff, at some point I'm going to get better at actually promoting this stuff during the course of the week, so we can keep building that audience. Pork butt, relatively easy. Don't overcook. Yeah, that's the beauty of the crock pot too. Or I bet if I could, well, I wouldn't need the sous vide it, I guess, but yeah, it's tough to overcook in something like a crock pot, or it could be real easy to overcook as a roast. That's for sure.
Yeah, So
all
right.
Love spending Sunday with you guys too. And so hopefully I'll figure out how to get better appointment reminders, calendar reminders, and we'll keep growing the audience. Be sure to tell your friends, like, share, and subscribe.
I'm honestly happy if one person shows up and wants to hang out with us and feels good about it. I'm happy about that. So
And
thank you.
Most
to
of
you
these
two.
shows are also available on YouTube later on. So if you want to say, hey, check out these kind of sappy people who take some time out of their Sunday to tell us weird stories and ask goofy questions.
They're flawed. I'm flawed. Life is good.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's what it's all about. So, send them over to our YouTube channel. Until then, we will see you next week. So take care, everybody.
Accept your humanness.